Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Coaching Conversations. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Very good, sir. Thank you. Feeling all sprightly and ready to rumble.
Sprightly and ready to rumble. So
Right.
what was that?
I said sprightly. You like that word? Sprightly.
Sprightly. It's
Is that an
sprightly,
old school word? I don't know. It's sprightly. I'm very sprightly.
very sprightly this morning.
Well, people used to use I'm very gay this morning, but I don't know if that's, politically appropriate today.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm feeling gay, like it could be misinterpreted.
Gay's happy, right?
Not there's anything wrong with that. I'm happy.
In fact, how often do you hear people say, I'm happy this morning?
It's not that often, usually, same shit. What's good about it?
That's right. Oh, same shit, different day. That's common.
Yeah, you hear all of that stuff, right? I'm with you.
How are you today? I'm happy today.
Could you imagine how are you today? I'm feeling sprightly and gay.
I'm very happy. Thanks for asking.
I'm very happy.
Let's start the Monday happiness movement.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's
what happiness is an internal choice.
It is an internal choice. Good. I like that.
Yep.
Take that away, guys. Write that down if you haven't already. Yeah.
Start with a happy. I'm very happy.
Start with happiness. I like
Start with happiness. Yeah, that's a good one. There's a movement right there. Start with happiness.
Start with happiness. Okay, so we grab that one first if anyone else takes it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do run with it, please let us know. Let's kick into today's first question, Nick. This one's an interesting one. What's the best way to re-engage with a cold list?
Very good question for a Monday morning. Very good. There's another one for a Monday morning. Is it any different than a Tuesday or Wednesday morning? It isn't, right?
Well, you've had 2 days off.
It's still a morning.
It's still a morning.
So what's the best way to re-engage with a cold list? I think about it like this, right? Since it's a cold list, and for everybody, watching or listening out there, cold list is a list that somebody has built, you've purchased, you don't know who these people are, you've never met them, and they probably don't know who you are. So, there's a way on how you can re-engage that type of list. My personal opinion is with that, it's important just to introduce yourself. Hey, this is who I am. No type of sell, no type of, hey, I can build your website. Hey, I've noticed that your SEO is not happening. All of these ones that we continuously get over and over. If you really want to check all of those, what not to do, just open up your spam folder and you've got it. I've got one here from Andrew Songtranum, and it's andrew@myclient.online. Dear coach, I'm a multimillionaire coach and consultant who has retired young by helping countless coaches and consultants like you escape modern day slavery and make 6 to 7 figures or more per year automatically while you live in a retire rich lifestyle of total freedom. I'm giving my full system for free today because I care. But first, and then continues this big long email and then tells me it's a very limited time only, don't miss out, and you instantly get your free COVID-19 gifts to boost your coaching business income and see firsthand why Tony Robbins and other big name coaches call me the #1 leader in 6 to 7 figure automated business creation for coaches and consultants. Now, I don't know about you, but first of all, he knows nothing about me. And I very rarely, believe that someone like this as Anthony Robbins has gone, mate, you're the other guy. He might have said that somewhere at a photo shoot or something like that and got misinterpreted and turned into that. But, maybe it's different. So that's not how you should do it. Now, how would I do it? First of all, I'd go, hey, something along the lines of, hi, John, my name's Nick, and I thought I'd reach out via email because it seems to be one of the most easiest way to do it. Please don't think that this is spam. I've done a little bit of research on your company and I feel that it's a connection. I totally understand I don't know much about you, but I'd really like to possibly pursue it. Here's what I've done with some of my clients, just to give you an indicator that I understand about your niche. I don't understand about your business because I haven't spoken to you, but I get it. Let's say if it's going to be niche specific, that I understand about the niche, and here's some other results that I've gotten with people that are similar to that. Case study 1, case study 2, maybe case study 3. And if you'd like to talk a little bit more, once again, I apologize if it feels intrusive, but if you'd like to talk a little bit more, simply give me a call on this, or I'll probably give you a follow-up call instead of it being an email. But I wanted to introduce myself. Do you see the differences? They're two totally flavors. One's telling me everything, that I'm on the rat race. I know, if you're like everybody else, traveled the world, he does all of this type of shit.
Yeah.
It's all about him, carrying on, all that type of stuff. I'm a millionaire maker, by the top names in the industry. I said that 3 times there, right? And it's all of this stuff, and he knows nothing about me. Versus, hey, this is who I am. I've done similar to this in this industry. I've done coaching in a similar niche, and here's some of my results. And if you'd like to have a chat, go for it. Once again, I apologize if it feels intrusive. If you don't, hey, it's all cool. Great to meet you. You see, there's 2 totally different flavors of email there. And, I could go on and on. I mean, I've got a spam box full of this stuff, right?
Yeah, I think everyone has the spam
And
box.
everybody has the same. And it tells them, I can fix stuff. You're going to get number 1 on Google.
I wrote down a few points, Nick, which kind of summarize what you were going through there. Number 1, introduction. So that's going to be important. Introduce yourself. 2, keep it personal, obviously, and don't be too selly. Actually, don't be selly. Just
At all.
Wipe out selly. And leverage, or at least add value.
Correct. Here's a case study, something you can use, right? Any of these things. That's how I would re-engage a cold list. Now, if it's then, let's say, email 2 after that, depending on what people have come back with, then I'm probably going to go, well, hey, here's a little bit more. Here's something that you can apply into your business. I don't know enough about it, but if you want to fill in the questionnaire, I'd be able to tell you. But right now I want to give. So I'm going, this is who I am, selfless. Right? Here's a little bit more about what I've done in the industry. Here's something that you can apply now. It's another gift. Email 3, probably more of a gift, with the possibility of, hey, would you be up to have a strategy session? Really good gift. Or, hey, can I help you with anything that you need? So now I'm asking them, what do they need help with? And still, I haven't sold anything. All I'm doing is getting to know somebody, because it'll be the same as meeting somebody at a pub, saying hello to them, and then asking them, hey, could you buy me lunch and half a dozen beers, dude? Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
And the answer is what? Probably no, right? So, but if you said to somebody, hey, how you doing? Can I buy you a beer? Yep, cool. And you start off with that process, then sooner or later, maybe there'll be an exchange of a lunch. Maybe not on that day. Maybe you see somebody else again. And if you give them a few beers and you get to know them and you're interested in them, I think it's really, really super, super important. So I would start by giving first.
Right. And yeah, it kind of ties in with what I say to the clients, which is serve first, sell second. And the sell comes eventually. There's no real time frame on it, but service first is going to be very important. So if you didn't jot those notes down, introduce yourself, keep it personal, add a massive amount of value on the way in. So that's re-engaging through a cold list or an email list first. And then, as Nick said, email 2, email 3, based on responses, you want to try and continue to give value, such as gifts or pieces of advice or things that people can do for their business and their industry. And hopefully that will form a conversation in the future, because that's ultimately where you want to take this cold list, is to build greater interaction. You don't really do business over email. You want to do it person to person, pick up the phone, actually have a conversation. So that's where you're aiming. Hopefully that has provided some value for you. See, value, serve first, sell second, although there's no sell today. So it's just all serve.
It's all value. Yeah.
All value. Right. Next question. This is something that a lot of business owners can all share in common, Nick. And I see it all the time, and you've seen it more probably than I have. But what's the best way for people to manage overwhelm with running their business? We all know that running businesses, it's a marathon sport, and you're juggling multiple balls, tasks, responsibilities at any one time. People can get overwhelmed, which is natural. It's a human thing. What's the best way to help, or what's the best way that you would find, or advice that you could give to help people manage overwhelm while running their business?
Yeah, I think that's an important part. Very similar to, business as a marathon sport. My personal opinion is having your environment in check is really, really important, right? Because, often we can feel like stressed out. Things are everywhere. You're never catching up on stuff. Every client then becomes a nuisance. There's all of these things that lead off to that. And I want us to think about it like this. This human is designed in a way that it picks up about 10,000 bits per second of information. So all around us at the moment, there's information. Is outside, is the sky still blue, or is it, red? Is there air in this room, or isn't there? Is there a threat about to smash through the glass? All of these things, am I standing upwards or am I lying down? All of these things, they're sensors. 10,000 bits per second all the way around us. And then what we do through our spinal system, we interpret roughly about 124 bits of that 10,000, right? The nervous system carries that type of data. So when you go 10,000 into 124, you've also got to think of it like a freeway, that in some of those lanes of information, there's banked up traffic, there's a smash, there's, stuff not working, there's potholes in the floor. And usually that's from things like not exercising, not breathing well, your spinal column's out of order, no chiropractic care, joint pain. All of these things are slowing all of that traffic. Now, all of us have been in traffic. You come around the corner, everything's cool. All of a sudden, oh, God, it's a smash and blocks out 2 lanes. So think exactly the same way. Now, add to that business, which is, money, employees, work, clients, personal life, trying to juggle time, energy, all of these things all clog up these systems. So one of the things that we really need to look at, and I know it's kind of a little bit left field, but one of the things that we need to look at is how do we also allow a greater width of that information to get through. And the best way for that is, number one is guided visualization, or something along the lines of meditation, yes, right? Or guided visualization. Guided visualization is you can hear somebody's voice talking in the background about, seeing the light as an example, letting the light move through you. There's relaxation techniques, all of these things. And all this does is it sort of puts a new surface of tarmac on the road, if you want,
right,
and kind of lubricates the system, right? So that would be number one.
Sure.
Number two, I feel that it's important for us to really keep the body in check, because if the body's in check, think of it as, rather than, the freeway being really hilly, or it's got brakes in it, or, there's a piece missing, it just allows that energy to flow through. Technically, we are a, esoteric being, but we're also a mechanical being. This is the mechanics of it, right? Mm. So you need to make sure the mechanics right. It's like having a 500 horsepower car, but, 2 spark plugs aren't working properly and the fuel's terrible. Usually car would break down a hell of a lot quicker than a human would.
Right. So you're saying look after yourself.
Look after yourself. Exactly.
Regular exercise, feeding.
Just put some regular exercise, stretch, movement. And, it's 30 minutes a day and you get, right? And then finally, I feel where it comes to business, to deal with overwhelm, a lot of things that we see in business, we actually think that they're, overwhelming. It's because we just don't have a manageable strategy for that system, right? So with us, if, as an example, you've got too many leads and you can't deal with them, obviously, like, there's either a problem in the pipeline, right? Too many, and we're not managing those, because very rarely is it going to be that everybody wants to buy off you straight away. So you're, dealing with that. And number two, I feel that another important part would be for us to make sure that your time is managed really well. You know yourself, if the more routine you are, the less stress that you need to handle, because you can compartmentalize that routine. And here's an example. Let's say you owe money to the tax department, right, which is very real, especially today.
Yeah.
It's typical for 99% of the businesses that we work.
Yeah.
With that, instead of letting that, clog up one laneway, because it's always there and you haven't spoken to the tax department, you're worried they're going to say something, really, that stuff. The best thing to do with it is compartmentalize it, deal with it, get a savings plan in order, or at least just tell them, hey, this is where I am today. I need a little bit of help. What can you do? Now, if you do that, all of a sudden it frees up that lane. because no longer are you thinking about it constantly. You've gone,
Mm.
all right, I've dealt with it. Now I
Yeah.
know that I need to pay him, I don't know, $500 a week as an example. So
Right.
that lane can be used for other stuff. So compartmentalizing your challenges is really, really awesome because it sort of diffuses that headache, and here's another personal one. Let's say if you go to the doctors, let's say with one of your kids, they're sick, you go to the doctor, and until then you're thinking, oh man, it's going to be a bit bad news because you've never seen them coughing like that or
Mm.
whatever. And he goes, no, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. This is common. It should be out cleared in 2 days. Here's some, tablets, take these, and you should be cool.
Right.
All of a sudden, that level of stress that you had to go, "Oh," and you got to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Now you've compartmentalized that. You've heard what you needed to. You've dealt with it. You understand that there's an outcome, and you're cool. Most people don't manage overwhelm because they don't feel that there's a clear objective and outcome in place, or else you deal with it.
Yeah, got it. Okay,
You know
good.
what
I
I mean?
took some note. Yeah, that's good. I took some notes there. So thinking from that, two of them are kind of body related. One of them is, let's call it operational related. So number one was visualization or meditation. And that's, I'm guessing, to calm what's happening upstairs in your mind. So we want to calm
Sure.
that, obviously. Keep your body in check because if you're not feeling right, nothing's going to be right. Let's face it. And the last one I think's great, which I'm going to title it an unblockage strategy, dealing with the things that are causing overwhelm head on, or creating a strategy or steps to actually move through and deal with that situation head on. Whether you fix it or not, you've actually paid attention to it and actioned some form of step to move through it, and then you've moved on with the next.
Correct. You've compartmentalized it.
Compartmentalized it. Cool.
Best way.
That's great. If you're dealing with overwhelm, guys, and or there's, you might have struggled through something today, you're listening to this afternoon, follow those 3 steps. And I'm sure you're going to be on your way to moving through that period of overwhelm. And you can use this as a tool in your toolbox to continue dealing with overwhelm as you move forward and grow your business, which is awesome. Last question for you, Nick. Let's keep this one tight.
Shoot.
If I'm looking to expand my service-based business, so let's call it like a plumber or a sparky, or maybe in the trades. If I'm looking to expand my service-based business, what steps should I take to do so? Maybe let's talk the first 2, maybe 3 steps.
Yeah, perfect.
To expanding.
It's interesting. I'm actually writing an email on the same thing.
Uh-huh.
How to scale using correct business model. I feel that it's all in modeling, and here's what I mean by this. When you first start as a tradie or any business, to be honest, you use a particular model that looks something like this. I've got clients, will do work. Doesn't matter where it is, what it is, let's get the job done, we're good to go. Then it's something like, I've got a lot of clients, I need some help. So you probably, employ somebody. Now you got a lot of clients, but now you're dealing with the employee and you need some help, and then hopefully it's good. And then it keeps on scaling from there. Now, that model worked really well when you were that small. But very rarely do we look at, what's going on later on in the business. And I'll tell you why, because from when you started in the business to maybe where it is today, if you're a service-based industry and you're looking at scaling, obviously you're probably going to be in it for a year, 2 years. But sometimes the stuff that was good for you a year ago because you could take on every little job because it was just you, and now you may have bigger contracts and you just can't do yourself. So you need to start to think that the model's changing. So in saying that, everything else around you has changed, but most people don't change the model. Right. So number one, you need to have a look at the model, right? Because
perfect.
You can't scale it if the model's the wrong model.
Yeah, and this is a critical point. I'm going to interject right now because this is critical, guys. If you're running a service-based business and you're busier than you have ever been before because you're taking on different forms of work, don't expect you can continue doing the same thing and grow your business because the model is changing. So that's a really critical intersection right now.
Yeah, correct. And I've got sort of 4 key areas that you need to look at.
Great.
Actually, I'm going to add one more. I was just speaking to a guy that owns a $15 million company. And I asked him, I said, Basir, tell me, how is it that you scale that business? And he said, to be honest, Nick, he goes, I worked a lot on my mind to go from $1 million. And this guy came in at the bottom of the company. He was actually employed. He was a refugee from Afghanistan got employed, and then worked all the way up till he bought the company. Now he owns it, right? From 0 to 15 million. It's pretty amazing story. And I said, what's the key? He said, dude, to be honest, he goes, I got a lot of coaches and I read. He goes, I'm obsessed with reading. He said, and I trained myself to be a $15 million business owner. He goes, because you can't at the bottom end of, being a $200,000 business owner. He said, myself and my management. He said, and now we're looking to get trained for 30 million, and that's why they're going to bring us in, and all that stuff. Now, in saying that, I think, so number one, obviously, is train your mind to start to scale. Because like you said, it's critical to go from, I'm just a trading mindset, do everything, work on stuff, to now I need to delegate and move it through other people.
Yes.
Number two, I wrote this, is your marketing dialed in? Because if you really want to scale your model, you need to have your marketing dialed in. Because it's no use, it's hard to scale, even if it's word of mouth. Even if you get a lot of referrals and word of mouth, well, you kind of need to set that up in a particular way, right? So is your marketing dialed in? Number three is, do you have a sales process that converts? Are you seeing a lot of people and they're tie kickers, so to speak? You want the larger stuff, but it's all just like not happening at all because it's all little stuff. And, it's only 3 out of 10 people. So you're trying to do with those other 7. We just spoke about Overwhelm. Too many people and no one's buying. All right. So sales process needs to be able to convert. Number 4, are your systems and procedures in place? In order for you to scale more of you need to have some type of procedural system, because a procedural system is what? To be done as good as, if not better than you. If you can do those things, you're in shape. And the last one is, do you have your finances under control? So all of these parts are really important to scale, because you know yourself, Chris, working with so many businesses, a lot of the times it looks like you're making money, but you're not. It looks like they're turning over a lot, but where's all the money?
Yeah. And a lot of businesses suffer from, they're working really hard to fill up the bucket, but there's holes in the bottom.
There's a lot of holes in the bottom. So if you don't have that, you can imagine the more energy that you put into it, the bigger the hole's going to be. Like that's how it works. So they're kind of 5 things. So mindset, marketing, sales, systems, finances. Have those 5. And I think as a service-based business, then you'll be able to scale. But the mindset's the big one. How do I go from being the technician to being the manager of the business? How do I manage people rather than do all of the work myself?
And stepping up through the scale.
It's a shift in model. The model at first was I do everything myself. Today, it's like not. And then when you get, past 50 plus employees, then it's entrepreneurism. How do I get these guys to work even better than what they're doing right now? You've got the infrastructure, you've got the people, you've got the flow of work. You don't need any of that. Now you just need management, good management of people. So
awesome. Well, there you go. If you've got a service-based business, I hope you jotted those 5 things down, because that will really help you move through those different levels and really get your business humming the way that you want it to hum. So that's about it for today. We've wrapped on time. Thank you so much for your time, Nick, once again.
No problem.
And if you have any questions, guys, please throw them through to ask@upcoach.com.au. We'd be happy to break down some of those questions and give you some real solid solutions and answers that you can use to grow your business right here on Coaching Conversations. Right. We'll speak to you all very soon. Thanks again. Bye now.
See you later.